Live from the Toronto Rock Athletic Centre here in Oakville, Ontario. It's game number 2 of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League semifinal series between the Oakville Buzz and the Whitby Warriors. A 12-5 victory 24 hours ago gives the Warriors a 1-0 series lead. But we're now here on Oakville's turf to see if they can keep home floor advantage for the teams in the series. I'm Matthew Carrick alongside Lucas Arger, and always interesting how the second game on back-to-back nights plays out, Lucas, especially after what we saw last night.
Definitely a dominant victory from Whitby. 12-5 was the final. Cooper Wilson played very solid for the Warriors. Zach Constantopoulos and Jackson McCarr kind of split the duties last night, both seeing a lot of action. But the storyline, big time, Matt, that you and I both noticed was loose ball recoveries and secondary and third possessions. Max Weatherup did a good job on offense for Whitby. Charlie Boone, along with Finn Morgan, were doing a little bit of that for the Buzz. So who is going to come away with more loose balls here tonight? But another matchup will be Urbach and Leopard at the face-off dot.
Troy Cordingley saying we got beat on every inch of the floor last night, expecting more energy from his team. And right away, Francis Renner playing it off the glass. You can go back over one line on a face-off, so that's why not called there. Liam Luza controlling to Jamison Steele. Still no Justin Tavares out of the lineup. Owen O'Halloran, William Simmons slot out from last night. Thomas Crossley and Caleb Cripps in. And right off the bat, Charlie Boone, who had a rough night last night, was a key for the Whitby defense. Gets the opening goal, takes just 28 seconds.
So we saw off the face-off that Oakville was able to control it, courtesy of Becker Lippard. And there's Easton McCafferty. He's able to draw the double team down. Ryder Haynes and Justin Hewitt slide. He does the flip pass right back over to Boone, and he goes short side. It actually hit Wilson and went right off the post and in. So that might be one he's going to want to have back as Oakville's on the board 28 seconds in.
Is Cooper Wilson to our left, coming out of the crease there to pick up the loose ball. Easton McCafferty, a guy Troy Cordingley said is a lacrosse player. That's how he described the former Whitby Warrior assisting on the goal. Here's Blake Mason. Going to run around, tried to get behind the net. Kate Cordingley stopping him there. And Zach Constantopoulos, after being replaced a couple times last night, is in for the start this evening. A little bit extra called in the crease there. John Vandergeest and Kyle Coulter and Mark Smith, your three officials, already hearing it from the home bench. Mason up by the restraining line, plays it to the far side. Max Weatherup on his toes. Down to Mason again. It'll come back up top for Bryson Lamoureux, who had 4 goals in last night's contest. That left side missing Matthew Ford and now Tryson Stewart. He is out in favor of Liam Hackett, the only change for Phil Weatherup this evening.
Expect to see Hackett get a couple more offensive shifts. Wouldn't surprise me if Justin Hewitt got a couple more as well. Just has some added depth on that left side for Whitby.
On the crease, McCafferty trying to return the favor. Or Boone trying to return it McCafferty's way. Picked up here Riley Woods, the rookie, scored twice last night out of the 5 goals from Oakville Sticks already. A lot more chatter, a lot more energy in the building. And Phil Weatherup said he expected a lot more, especially early on from this Oakville team. Outside hit and an awkward one there into the back of Boone. And already Troy Cordingley making a case for a 5-minute against Hackett.
So we'll take a look on the replay here. Looked to be a little bit of a weird one as that ball was tipped, and then you could see that it has a lot of spin. And then here comes Boone in, and Hackett.
Oh.
Just a little too much extension from our vantage point. So you can see Mark Smith and Kyle Coulter running in right away, and we'll wait and see what the official call is, and it will be a 5-minute major for boarding, as it says online. Seems to be a bit of an issue right now.
Yeah, trying to figure out how to get that on the board. But it will be 5 to Hackett. And power plays last night. Whitby 1 for 5, 0 for 2 were Oakville yesterday. So already up 1-0 here and a big chance to do big damage here early on. remember back to that Kitchener series, there was I think it was game 2 or 3, where Troy Cordingley said we didn't play very well, got beat, came back in this building for game number 4, and had their best game of the series. So this is an Oakville team that's able to respond from things like what happened last night. And Troy Cordingley even telling us before, they had a 5-game losing streak this season that they were able to bounce back from. And, this is a big game in this series.
Yeah, it definitely is for them. They want to set the tone. They know that, Troy Cordingley said flat out that it looked to be boys versus men out there last night in Whitby. So he wants his team to show up a lot more tonight, and he put all the onus on the 18 runners in front of them, not his 2 goaltenders. Yes. So he's expecting a lot more effort out of the Buzz runners here tonight, and that's a play right there. Pressure near the center line, cause a turnover, and now they get an extra possession on the 5-minute major. So we saw that it went up at 17:59. So remember, 2 goals negates the 5-minute major. But Hackett will have to serve all 5 minutes regardless. And here's Steele with it.
Him and McCafferty playing catch. Steele puts it behind the net. Back up to Boone, to Steele now behind his back. And looking down low was Finn Morgan. That one skips off a couple of boards. Only 5 to shoot. Steele will oblige the shot clock. And then there's a loose ball. Owen Lee is not far away from it as he was there, but couple player advantage for Oakville, and it'll be Steele again. McCafferty, that might have hit off the high defender, Justin Hewitt. It'll change of hands for Haynes to get it across the timeline here.
We talked to Phil Weatherup a lot in that Brampton series, Matt, and he described Hewitt in 3 words: relentless, physical, and quick when he wants to be.
4 players go after Hewitt as the ball pops out. Kind of nonchalant running around with it, Becker Lippert. Then turned on the Jets to get back towards the crease. By that time, Lee had found him. Absurd energy is what Phil Weatherup said last night, talking about Owen Lee. And when we asked Troy Cordingley, why is their defense so good, he said because they got 51 on their team. So here's Max Weatherup now. About 2 minutes gone, I think, in that major penalty of 5 minutes. Ryder Haynes taking it out into the corner. He had a great game last night, did Ryder Haynes.
Very much so did the Sarnia native. Blocking shots, intercepting passes. Don't know if he got on the point in the points column, but I'm sure he was on every single defensive stat possible. Now McCafferty playing catch here with Riley Woods.
McCafferty with it back, sailed it over the head of Jamison Steele. Finn Morgan up top, skips it in off Wilson. Then a few panes of glass, back to Steele, to Morgan again. One man had already changed up at the Oakville bench. We played 5 here in the first period. There were already about 2 or 3 in the back of the net last night for Whitby. Here's Steele walking in, high shrug there, and taking it off the shoulder was Wilson. He took 2 up high last night that had him looking at his face mask.
Yeah, he did. Wilson definitely taking a couple in the mask, but stayed in the game, and he looked even solid after those shots that he took up high last night.
Outside shot there from Matt Suter. Number 22 had 4 goals in last night's game. So of the 12 put up by Whitby, 4 from Lamoureux, 4 from Suter, a pair from Weatherup. And that's 10 out of the 12 from those big 3. Here's Boone to Peyton Booth. Fake the pass back. There was a bit of space just above the right elbow. And the ball hit the outside of the net, picked up here by Whitby. Their 8 count is on before they get across center, and they're not even going to get it out of the corner.
Troy Cordingley wanted that 8-second count maybe a little quicker, saying it was at 22 at the shot clock long before.
Here's Cody McNeil. This will be about 1 minute left in the major power play. Cade Cordingley looking down low. It'll come up for Boone to Booth. shot angled the stick in between the legs of Wilson, but doesn't go through. And then Haynes chased back over the center line. Francis Renner headed off. Played back for Hewitt. Look out, in and out of the stick of Weatherup. Graydon Foulon, one of, I believe, 2 graduates only on this Oakville team. Thought there was more than that, but looking down, the only other one listed is Zach Warren, not in the lineup tonight. And the Power Surge a little ahead of schedule, perhaps by a year, although last night Troy Cordingley says, I don't know where anybody got that from. Trying to come out of the box, the player got tangled up with his jersey. Working his way through was Riley Woods, stick taken out of his hand. Still 1-0 here. As we come back 5-on-5, shots showing 8-2 in favor of Oakville, who've definitely had a better start than yesterday. Here's Thomas Bagnall stripping the ball away, going to take it to the net over his shoulder. Asked Troy Cordingley about the positives from last night. Had to think about it for a bit, but then he keyed on Bagnall's play and the energy he brought to the game yesterday.
Definitely a dominant force was Bagnall last night on defense, running in transition, kind of similar to Ryder Haynes. Him and Bagnall were probably the top 2 defenders in the game in that 12-5 victory. And despite Oakville losing by 7, they're only down by 1 in the series, which is all that matters here in the playoffs.
Right. Steele missed McNeil as he was on the crease there. Hard to miss Cody McNeil with the bright yellow sneakers for Oakville, but did with that pass is now it's back the other way up the shot clock violation. Cam Monders had it up high for Easton Messina, who had a good game last night. Ended up probably with more floor time than he thought, with Trayson Stewart getting injured in the first period. That's 2 big lefties for this team. Trayson Stewart and Matthew Ford not in the lineup here tonight. Day off tomorrow. Series will be back in action Sunday night in Whitby. Boone shot there. Looked like it had gone through the stick, but caught against the left leg of Wilson. It's a couple awkward ones in the 5-hole. Spinning back, Liam Hackett. Fresh off serving that 5-minute penalty. Tried to get it to Weatherup. Intercepted by Liam Liza. He'll find Lippert. Cross center, and now Caleb Cripps. Him and Crossley in for Owen O'Halloran and William Simmons tonight. Oh, Jamison Steele puts his shoulder into his man, takes it to the cage. That's a big boy goal for Jamison Steele.
We know he's got the height advantage on most of the defenders that he plays, but look at the physicality right here. Drops the shoulder right into Evan Barrett, spins, and is going to go 5-hole on Cooper Wilson. His first tally of the game doubles the lead for the Buzz as Cody McNeil and McCafferty pick up assists.
You know, prior to Justin Tavares coming here to Oakville at the trade deadline, it was Jamison Steele, and had been for a number of years as the guy. Kind of took a bit of a back seat. His stats started to fall off a little bit, but man, if 22 gets going for Oakville, could be dangerous with or without Tavares, who we were told is very close. Walking in, Suter going to get the answer. Pair of 22s going back and forth here in the game as Whitby's on the board.
Troy Cordingley said pre-game that the defense did not have a good first period, and this is kind of a lapse right here. Suter's able to get the ball, take his man high, and then he's just able to go one-on-one right past Crossley, and just a bounce shot right underneath the crossbar gets Whitby on the board 2-1. As we are 24 seconds away from the midway mark of this period. And that'll be another face-off win there for Aiden Urbach as Owen Lee corrals that loose ball. Someone really should be tracking loose ball recoveries because the amount of loose balls that both teams had last night, but more specifically Whitby, were pretty high to say the least.
Interesting. Normally Becker Lippert at the face-off dot. I don't think it was him. Looked like maybe Foulon, who takes a hard check in the corner there. Pardon me, that's Matthew Kirchmeier. Foulon takes off with the ball. And Kirchmeier goes off. And he's grabbing his helmet and immediately gets attention from the trainer. Meanwhile, McNeil with the ball. Getting it up to McCafferty, who took a hard hit after the shot. Cripps can't stay out of the crease. Former Halton Hills Bulldog, or is a Halton Hills Bulldog this year. Was warming up with the red bucket yesterday. They found him a black one for game time. And now back the other way, Messina. Electing to go cross floor there for Monders. Lamoureux on scene now. He'll go across to Weatherup. Return pass, too hot to handle as it came back for Lamoureux.
Right idea there. Give it to the far side and then cut back door. Try to get the return feed, but Lamoureux unable to handle it. Can McCafferty capitalize?
Elected to give it to Finn Morgan. He got hit as Evan Barrett was looking for some revenge after getting taken down on that previous goal. Save made by Wilson, and it's up for Whitby. Bagnall went right at Weatherup. And then Lippert followed soon after to chop it away from the offensive star for Whitby. And eventually Bagnall taken down, and interference will give it back to his Buzz.
You're definitely seeing a lot more physicality here tonight in the first period than the opening 20 last night, Matt. And I think both teams are kind of feeling the pressure, and I know Phil Weatherup would love to have a 2-0 series lead heading into the off day tomorrow, but Troy Cordingley's defense isn't going to go down easy.
Out of the corner, Suter will give up to Weatherup. You can see Francis Renner get right on his hands so he can't shoot. Now down out of the corner, Messina up over the top. Weatherup down low. Reaching behind him was Constantopoulos, but did make the stop. Francis Renner. He'll stop in front of Zachary Tucker. Under 8 to play in this first period. 2-1 the lead for Oakville. Cripps spins off pressure down to Boone, taking it to the crease. Thought for a sec he might go airborne. A lot of shots down low on Wilson. That one hit him high, and he made the save as Urbach clears center.
That's a good save right there from Wilson, as we saw that Boone was going across the crease, and we both thought he was going airborne, but Wilson able to stay nice and easy, centered to his net, and squared up right to the shooter. Keeps that shoulder up to keep Boone off the score sheet. Peyton
Booth has it here on the hidden ball play with McNeil. Booth back in that direction for real this time. Heads up. John Vandergiesen in the corner. Boone can't keep it on side. He'll just leave it at center as he scampers off for a change. 14-6 shot advantage for Oakville. Blake Mason. Up for Lamoureux. Back for Weatherup. Weatherup trying to send it up top for James Jemmett. Getting an offensive shift here. Now back for Lamoureux. Into the 5-hole there. It looked like into the pad of Constantopoulos, but there was room down low. Much better first period for the big Oakville netminder than it was last night. Here's Steele outside. Troy Cordingley did circle Jackson McGarr. Not sure if that was playoff mind games or just an honest mistake. Drawn back by McNeil here. Shot up top. And caught him. That was a long shrug of their shoulders waiting for the whistle. Don't think Troy would steer us wrong on purpose, but it is the OJ semifinals. His team leading still 2-1 here in the first period. Only game on the schedule tonight. Messina over to Weatherup, also wearing those solid red sneakers. Weatherup, hard pass across. Suter had to bring it down, which gave Constantopoulos time to get over for the stop.
It's a good save right there by Constantopoulos. Especially when it's late in the shot clock like that. You see Weather up on his wrong side, trying to get it back to Suter, and just not doing anything extra. Wisconsin topless keeps that one out of the net.
Couple options in on the crease. They go to Riley Woods over the shoulder. Good look as Steele was running his way through as well. Couple high steps from Ryan Proctor. Met there with Becker Lippert. Now down the boards, Mason. Back to Suter from the restraining line. In off Constantopoulos. They're arguing over this loose ball. Who's going to pick up the rebound here? Suter double team, knocked down, fallen on there by, Cordingley. Got an extra chop in as well from Kirchmeier. Look out here as Foulon had it down. Lee had thoughts of closing the gap.
That could have been disastrous had Lee connected on that hit, and we're both chuckling, being like, Cordingley said 51 is what scares him the most on the Whitby defense, and that could have proved why just moments ago.
Guy scares me, and I'm up here. On his 51 counterpart, Morgan, who bounces that into the crease. Looks like there's 3 guys wearing 51, especially on that shift. He was up near center. He was over by his bench. He was in front of the crease. Whitby's found another good defender. Pass across. Didn't go for Messina. They'll put it in Lamoureux, and off the arm and in. Constantopoulos, we're tied up.
What a great shot from Bryson Lamoureux. So we check out the replay. He slips underneath his defender. He then takes the return feed from Weatherup, and he shoots. He's a lefty. He's able to shoot all the way around the defender and pull it back short side off the post and in. I don't want to sound like a broken record here, Matt, but he is a rookie in this league, yes. But he is certainly not playing like it. As he has looked like a dominant force out there for the Warriors, especially with Ford and now Stewart out of the lineup on that left side.
I mean, keep trying to get it out of Phil Weatherup if they need more guys on the left side to step up without Ford and now without Stewart, or if the righties are going to take over. Last night it was a little bit of both in Suter and Lamoureux, but if there is going to be a guy, it seems like Bryson Lamoureux is going to pick up that slack. Shot that Constantopoulos, I don't think, saw all that well with Drynan in front of him. Played his man pretty well, and there was a guy behind the crease as well, probably as a distraction. Here's Francis Renner the other way, Steele. Back across Finn Morgan. Oakville have led most of this period. What a job to get this back for Woods. Can he shoot through 3 guys? Well, falling, oh my goodness! Speaking of rookies making an impact, how about Riley Woods?
You want to talk about a player that can do it all? Meet Riley Woods, 2025 first overall pick. Beats 1, 2, 3 defenders, falls down, and still goes far side.
That was nuts. Beat the triple team. How about Finn Morgan, too? 2 guys in the corner, flips it back so Woods can get it. Oh, a lot to love from that one right there.
Put that one on the highlight reel.
Urbach, big chop. Lippert then gives one right back. It's going to go Messina's way through traffic. He'll score. Easton Messina off the draw team. Highlight reel filling up here, Lucas.
I don't know if Easton Messina plays a lot of cards, but if anyone's familiar with cribbage, see 1, score 1. Messina watched his team get scored on. Now he's going to beat 2 defenders. Goes bouncer far side, past Constantopoulos into the top corner. What a back and forth game we've had in the past minute here, Matt. We still have 2:50 to play, and it's a tied game once again, and another face-off win for Aiden Urbach.
Speaking of cards, I would have lost a lot of money if you had asked me that last night, but This is a resilient Buzz team. Have shown it time and time again this season and already here in this playoffs. As again, an awful game against KW, came back here in this building, played their best of the postseason. Little stumble from Lamoureux, gets the screen from Mason. Shot there, Constantopoulos. Bagnall going to outlet here over the head of Cade Cordingley. Francis Renner was in the vicinity as well, and it'll be Whitby carrying it back.
So a miscue right there from the Buzz. Gives the Warriors an extra opportunity on offense, and that's something Troy Cordingley was also saying to us, that he wants to clean up a bit. It's a transition game.
Yep. Which, when it's rolling for Oakville, they're dang near unstoppable. Messina back across. Toe drag, Cam Monders. Little twist. Couldn't get it to go. Now Thomas Crossley leaving it back up top. Through Britton Pitt. Now McNeil. Steal to Boone. Found the stick of McCafferty. He can't play it as he's gone to the crease. Boone unable to bring it down. Zachary Tucker was right there, and Tucker not going to touch it before the shot clock. We'll give here to Ryan Proctor.
Good defensive system right there from the Warriors. You saw Tucker and Lee involved there, knocking down some passes, and now they'll give it there for their offense.
Weather up around a screen. It was too much in the eyes of the official. Should also note for Whitby, their transition game hurting a little bit with Darius Jones out of the lineup for a second straight night. Francis Renner shoots past his defender. Into the last minute here, Booth. Out to the corner, all alone in front is Woods, turns and scores.
This goal is reminiscent of the one that Matt Suter scored. A little bit of a lapse in defense for Whitby this time, as watch 25 slips underneath his defender. Justin Hewitt, little bit out of position, tried to come back with the stick check, but it's too late as Woods goes top corner, placing it over the shoulder of Cooper Wilson. Oakville restores their 1-goal lead. As there are 45 seconds left, neither team has taken a timeout. Wouldn't shock us, Matt, if that were to happen on whoever wins this time or wins this face-off.
Well, Messina grabs it, but had 38 seconds left, so hang on to it and see if you can take one with you into the third period. Here's Suter coming out. Talked about the lefties for Whitby, who would step up. This guy right here, Lamoureux, maybe Messina, but without Justin Tavares, who would step up for Oakville. And as the rebound comes down in Whitby's stick, timeout immediately called. A little conversation between Liam Liza and Blake Mason. 14.7 remaining here in the first. In a 4-3 game, Oakville have led the entire way, a couple ties, but Whitby's trying to set up for last shot here, and pretty sure that Wilson will be on the bench. So without Justin Tavares, who will step up, how about a rookie in Riley Woods?
Yeah, Woods has been a very dominant player. Here's the first goal that he scores as he goes 1-on-3, maybe even 1-on-4.
Nuts.
And he's able to go far side.
I'm still not over that, by the way. Keep going.
No, neither am I. I don't think we're going to be the rest of the night. And then here's his other one. Able to slip underneath his defender. But what he does a good job here doing is making sure that he goes across the crease, which then forces the Whitby player to play the ball, dumps it over, and then he places it past Cooper Wilson. And again, Woods is someone that Troy Cordingley and the rest of the Oakville offense absolutely love. Of course, drafted him number 1 overall, but he's kind of like a lump of clay. They can mold him into something, and he's going to be really good the rest of his junior A career. Whitby now with 10 seconds left in the period.
And number 10 himself, Weather up with the ball. They're counting it down from the bench as they tried the quick stick for Lamoureux, picked up here. Empty net down floor. Liza has time just wide and just a little bit late as well. The ooze raining through the track on that last second shot, but it is a 4-3 lead after 20 minutes for Oakville in a pretty good response after what happened yesterday.
Definitely not the best 20 minutes of action they had last night, down 5-3. They're now up 4-3 here tonight and playing a lot more cohesively, a lot more systematic offense and defense. Constantopoulos looking a lot more solid tonight, and I think Whitby knows that wasn't maybe their best 20 minutes, certainly not their worst, but they know things to clean up as they're down by 1 here after 20.
Be interesting to see who comes out with the energy in the second period. That comes your way in about 9 minutes. You're watching the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League semifinals from here at the track. Second period up next. Game number 2 of this best-of-7 Ontario Junior Lacrosse League semifinal series between the Whitby Warriors and Oakville Buzz. Buzz leading 4-3 on their home floor. A much better first period than it was last night. Lucas, take us through the action.
It was a much better 20 this time around, and it started for the Buzz as it was Charlie Boone that was able to get the scoring going, and then Jamison Steele able to walk in as he went 5-hole on Cooper Wilson. 2-0 for Oakville before it became 2-2. As here's Matt Suter on an island, takes his man underneath, goes bounce shot 5-hole past Zach Constantopoulos, and then I love the shot right here from Bryson Lamoureux. He is a lefty, gets his body all the way around, or sorry, stick all the way around his defender, and then pulls it back far side to go post and in. And then we're going to keep talking about this play all night long. Finn Morgan flips it out. Riley Woods, he just says, I'll take it to the rack myself, have 4 guys draped all over me. And then right off that face-off, here comes Easton Messina. Finds the loose ball, streaks in on net, goes bounce shot far side to tie this up. And then here was the go-ahead goal for the moment. Riley Woods slips underneath his defender, goes right on top of the crease past Cooper Wilson. That one happened with 45 seconds left in the period, and that's where we stand right now as Oakville leads in both the goal column and shot column.
4 off 19 for the Buzz, 3 off 15 for Whitby. Oakville also had a 5-minute major power play that they did not capitalize on. Team switch sides here for the second period. Still Oakville in their Cream City Connect uniforms. Setting up here for first possession. Steele down into the corner. Riley Woods. Over for Charlie Boone. Woods from the outside on hat trick watch now for number 25. But it is Wilson making the stop. Whitby in their dark unis. Gotta say, look fantastic, by the way. Going right to left off Phil Weatherup's visitors bench. Cam Monders now. All the way across floor. Lamoureux into the corner. Suter on the run. Back in front. Monders turns and scores. And a huge celebration after. Doing his best Bryson Lamoureux impression.
Very much so. What I like about this play a lot is Easton Messina. So watch what the rookie does. Lamoureux directs traffic, and Messina with the great floor vision finds Monders, and then he stops, spins back, gets his arms free, beats Constantopoulos 5-hole, and then why not try and do your best Bryson Lamoureux celebration as you have just tied this game up 53 seconds into the period. And it's Lippert and Urbach back at the face-off dot. Loose ball down into the Oakville corner.
First one to it, Owen Lee, although Graydon Foulon was rushing in for Oakville. Lee couldn't pick it up. It'll be the Buzz that grab it. Woods was waiting for it to come down the boards. Didn't get that far. 8 count is on here for the Buzz. Got to hurry and still loose. They're going to run out of time.
Great IQ right there from Aiden Urbach and from Justin Hewitt. They saw that the count was maybe at 5 or 6, and you saw Hewitt kind of just swat it away, keep the ball down on the turf. So great job there to cause the 8-second count. Can Whitby capitalize on the turnover?
Here's Max Weatherup. Keeping it up high with Messina. The red shoes connecting again. Weatherup tries to score. And Constantopoulos the save. Saw it last night where he's still got those something on some pad dangling down underneath his gear. McCafferty, the former Warrior, from up top. Not sure if that was intended for Luzza, who was setting a screen, or McNeil cutting behind it. Ball kind of skirted between both of them. The pick was too much, so it's back the other way with Proctor. Now Lamoureux through traffic. Monders couldn't bring it down. Bagnall bounces off a body. 3-on-1 developing here for Kate Cordingley and the rest of the Buzz. Cordingley in behind his man off the corner. Oh, man. Had an opening there as well. Tyler Francis Renner was back on defense, so that'll even the numbers as Jack Moores came in quickly.
How did that stay out? Went ping right off the iron and even hit Cooper Wilson a little bit and stays out.
Monders far side. Suter with a man all over him behind, and a big hit there. Monders called in the crease. Francis Renner coming in to play the body. And a little bit extra from Britton Pitt on Suter in the crease. Going to be the first power play of the game coming up Whitby's way. First, the shot from Lamoureux.
So that was Monders that went in, and then right there, just a little extra poke right to the gut. Well, let's take a look at the one from Cade Cordingley right here. Comes around, goes off of the post, hit the corner, even hit Wilson on the way back out.
So spearing officially the call against Pitt. There were few of those in the game last night, uncalled at various points. A Suter picks up. So you can be sure the officials had a conversation about that before the game and were on the lookout. And call one early here in the second period. Only power play, as we said, of that first period went Oakville's way. So Whitby with a chance now, although Peyton Booth playing keep away. Up for Woods. Thought he had a lane in the net. Still going to find one himself. Created it using his body. And, man, what's he going to look like in a couple years?
Riley Woods will probably be one of the top offensive players in this league. And saw him play a little bit in minor lacrosse with Center Wellington, especially at the 2024 Ontario Summer Games. And he just fit right in A-ball, and makes sense why he was taken #1 overall in his draft year.
4 minutes gone here. 40 seconds remaining in the power play. Shot from the far side. Kicked out. Constantopoulos, and on the run is Drynan. Liza faked one way, goes back the other. Trying to elude Weatherup. Taken down as those two tangled. Charlie Boone picks it up. Trying to use his speed to go around the net. Collided into there by Lee, who was chasing him. Liam Hackett first on scene. Boone recovers to bring it through. A little skipper into Wilson. Charlie Boone fighting through the pressure of three Whitby power play defenders.
That's a great job by Boone there to muscle his way through and keep eluding his guys, and then able to get a good shot off at the end of it. And speaking of good shots, that's a good one from Suter right there. Constantopoulos with the save as we're back to 5-on-5.
Crossley hard on Lamoureux. Eventually gave it up so he could put a screen on Francis Renner. Lamoureux with the ball now, skips it wide of the net. Went for the jump ball, taken down. Him and Bagnall are still wrestling inside the face-off restraining line, and eventually minor interference called against Oakville. Bagnall got to be careful here. Finally the official jumped away, play restarted. After Jack Moore's had a bit of a conversation, Pitt with a bump on him. Second playoff game in 2 nights. Getting a little spicy here. 5.5 into the second period. Here's Lamoureux. Hard check far side. Mason went right through Foulon. And no kidding, moving screen.
Both benches feeling the intensity of this middle period and voicing their thoughts about it, just to the general public in the vicinity.
Morgan saw Steele cutting through the crease. Couldn't hit him with a pass, though. And now Steele intercepted that. Might have been intended for Morgan. And too hot, it's going to come all the way back down the floor.
So we've seen some moving picks in this period. We've seen some over and back, some turnovers, errant passes. So definitely some discipline going to come into play here in the middle period as well as the third. But which team is going to improve on it the most and execute it the best?
Weatherup had to go back to his bench to pick up a loose ball. Suter had Constantopoulos going down. There was an opening underneath the crossbar, but rang it off the pipe. Weatherup with it again. And again, Constantopoulos down. Ball goes high. Enough for the reset. Messina back to the corner. Here's Mason getting chased out past the restraining line. Here's Suter in all alone shot there. Going to stay in the crease this time. Has a big time tie up there with Becker, Lippert, and Mason.
Those two jarring at each other, running off. Keep an eye on 5 and 11. But back the other way, it's McNeil with it.
I'm not going to start keeping an eye on players. That list is going to grow pretty hard, pretty fast. A clean block. All right, off of Evan Barrett. He was under pressure trying to get back up, but does, and then leads transition. Was about to say draws a penalty, but not called on Cripps. Outside Lamoureux. Weather up 8-2-hander as he crossed to the middle. Now Suter off the bench. Far side was Jemmett. Not ready for the pass. Got mixed up in the feet there of Mason and Cordingley. From the corner, Mason again on the crease. Couldn't get it, and they're going to run out of time with Jemmett turning back. Nearly collided with Lamoureux. 4-4 tie game. 22-19 shots here. Troy Cordingley thinks he's been robbed of a couple seconds on his shot clock. Outside Rip Morgan. Got it there on Wilson. Now Reese Hewnick to Urbach now. Hewnick looks like he's going to stay and play. Taking top spot. Liam Hackett getting some attention at the equipment stand. Over to Lamoureux, a number of head fakes, none of them shaking Drynan, who follows him back to the crease, and no room for a shot. It just ends up on the back of the net.
Good defense right there from the Buzz to not.
Look out. Boone scores. What an outlet pass from Bagnall, and what a finish from Charlie Boone coming off the bench.
We talked about the transition game. If Oakville can get it going, they will be lethal, and they do it right here. So you see Francis Renner pick it up off the net, and then he outlets it right here to Bagnall. And that's a great catch from Boone, and then the finish right past Wilson. Executed very well all around from one crease to the other, and it ends up in the back of the net. Oakville with the lead once again.
Credit the stats crew. They get Francis Renner and Bagnall. That second transition assist almost always gets missed, but get both of them and get them correct in real time. Down floor. Trying to find weather up on the crease was Justin Hewitt. Back the other way, Cade Cordingley already behind everyone. Has to pull out as Hewitt was all the way back in transition. Now to the boards. McCafferty wasn't ready for it. Boone will give it to him. Brings it down the second time. Now Steele. Back up top, McCafferty. Despite his defender falling, couldn't get a shot away. Steele on the run. Cade Cordingley crashed into the wall that is Lee. And no shot when it was taken. Owen Toval able to get it down. Here's Suter on the run. Kicked out Constantopoulos.
Going to get a delayed penalty coming here as Suter was knocked down.
I think that was after the initial hit. Bagnall gave him an extra shot in the crease and still working him over.
Luzza without a stick at the moment.
Bagnall kicks it out of the crease. Now Weatherup puts it down in that direction. Extra attacker out here for the final 5 seconds of this shot clock. Mason up top, Weatherup. Everyone was looking around as that deflected off a defender in front. And then we get the cross-checking call, second power play of this period coming up to Whitby, and some discussion about it.
So here comes the pass, and then, oh, that's what it was. Looks to be Luzza might have kicked him a little bit.
Well, looked like a cross-check being called. So maybe it was the initial one, as the goaltenders will go off for hydration break. Keep your eye on the crease That cross check a little high. And then, yeah, there was a little extra. On the crease as well from Bagnall, but it's Liza that goes off, and Sion was cross-checking, by the way. Game 3 of St. Catharines Orangeville goes tomorrow night, 7 o'clock in St. Catharines. That'll be right here on the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League YouTube channel. And then Sunday in Whitby, 8 o'clock, this series, game number 3, will switch back. It is a 2-0 series lead for the St. Catharines Athletics over the Orangeville Northmen. So game tomorrow is here. The other ones have been on Hornhead streams, but be sure you subscribe to the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League YouTube channel for all the games the rest of the way as the playoffs then get decided on what days. I know Brooklyn hoping that they're in the major series playoffs, dealing with qualifiers on the weekend, dealing with festival after that. Good time to be a lacrosse fan here in Ontario for sure.
No doubt about that.
Weather up to Suter to start this power play. They wheel it around for Monders. Save made. Another one down low on Constantopoulos, though, as both teams have been looking 5-hole a lot here tonight. Pitt across center. Woods. Cross for Booth. McCafferty and Boone, the other two, short-handed. Woods right in front of our broadcast position. Mark Smith stepping in between him and Jack Moores. He got free and nearly broke into the net, and that was about perfect timing, too. If that pass connects, it's right at the end of the shot clock.
Definitely. Woods and Moores getting tied up, and Woods almost had an opportunity, just unable to come down with that pass, and Whitby will get one more minute to work with on their second power play of the game.
Suter and Weatherup playing catch. Down low, Monders now. 10 on the shot clock with Mason. Getting it through Lamoureux. Up top, Weatherup had to deal with Foulon in his face. Still got it on target. Constantopoulos still made the save. Here's Foulon circling away now from the pressure of Ryan Proctor. Boone slows it down. 14 on the shot clock, 29 on the power play clock. As they'll play it to the far side. Cripps to McNeil. Long shot, scores! Caleb Cripps scoring from Halton Hills.
Well, there haven't been a lot of shorthanded goals in this series, but from the restraining line, and a little bit different than the restraining line Cooper Wilson was used to seeing in Brampton in his visitor's barn, but he's probably not too pleased with himself on that one. But the Buzz have their second 2-goal lead of the night. And that was just a little low turf burner right there.
8 minutes to go here in the period. Still 7 seconds remaining in the power play as they'll get it down the boards. Bagnall fights through the check there from Hewitt. Now has to deal with Owen Lee, and we'll get it into the stick of Charlie Boone as we return 5-on-5. Bagnall with a word for Lee as he left the floor.
Bodying into the net there. Bodying into the net there. Largest lead of the night. It's now 7-4 in favor of Oakville.
They credit Cade Cordingley on the assist. The outlet pass was from Graydon Foulon, but now 7-4, 3-goal lead, the highest it's been through the game for Oakville. Said it last night, you felt like Oakville needed one at times. Kind of feel like Whitby needs one here just to slow things down a little bit. Messina back to Mason, fights through, number of moves. Going with all of them was Constantopoulos.
Lippert and Mason going back at it. Mason thought he had Constantopoulos beat, but Number 31 had other ideas. Back the other way. Great save by Wilson.
Was indeed transition coming here for Proctor and the Warriors. Ryan Proctor back through the middle. It's Pitt, the recent goal scorer, pushing Proctor out of the way. Pitt's first goal since June the 30th. He was with the Buzz at the time against Kitchener. It was the 12-11 overtime loss. Scored in that game, just 4 on the season, now 5 for Braden Pitt. Up top, here's Morgan. Down for Cade Cordingley. 13 goals for Pitt in this game, number 99 of his OJLL career.
That's a lot of games in junior lacrosse.
It is. It is a full career. Been with the Mountaineers through most of that. They've made the playoffs almost every year. Another run here. Pulled back. What a move by Lamoureux. Cut back in midair to fire it off the bar. Back through. Jack Moores has been stirring the pot all night long in the middle of this set, and so is Francis Renner. Comes across for another hit there on Monders. Lamoureux took down Bagnall. Lamoureux takes a couple hits. Ball is going to bypass Cordingley. Back to Suter. The outside rip. Lamoureux, that hit off a defender in front. Don't think it ever got to the net. And now it's going to roll back close to the over and back line. They're not going to give it to him. One official said no, the other said yes. Now everybody going to talk about it with Thomas Crossley getting taken down. We got refs running everywhere. We got a bunch of whistles. Where's the ball? Francis Renner wants a restart. McCafferty into the corner. Oakville possession. Steele flipping it here to Morgan. Back outside. Steele wanted the return pass. Was being blocked by Hewitt. Another one off the crossbar. That's 3 between the two teams combined here in the period. Owen Lee from the corner. It's about the only thing he hasn't done in this series is score. Thought it was coming. But now Weatherup will slow down.
What a sequence of events we've had. We had shots hitting posts, crease dives, crease attempts, over and backs.
Nearly a crease call on Weatherup, but the save made. Steele missed the outlet pass. Suter, his 22 counterpart, responded with a big chop. McNeil off the bench to Steele. Steele fights through a pick, jumping up on it. Looked like there was a takedown, no penalty called. McCafferty ended up getting tripped up, so did Proctor. And Oakville look out. Josh Dawick had the hands ready up in the owner's box.
Both Josh and Jamie were getting ready. Should have brought their sticks.
Well, I don't know if Jamie was getting ready. Josh had the hands going anyways. Got to prep for his game here on Monday night. See if they can, Oakville Rock can deny Six Nations Chief some history. Undefeated season, and Oakville will be in the playoffs. Pretty close if they haven't done so already to clinching second overall. Here's Finn Morgan, though, as the Buzz make their first semifinals appearance in the OJLL. Morgan, round pressure, fights off a man, spins back. Penalty coming here. McNeil and Tucker get the sticks up. Moore's going to step in. Penalty is coming to Whitby already, though. And it'll be a power play for Oakville here with 3 minutes remaining in the period.
Unfortunate play here as Tucker and Moores play good defense, but then it's the hold right there from Tuvel, I think, that draws Morgan to go down. And then,
yeah, McNeil, I think, didn't like the hit on Tucker.
So it's actually going to be Tucker in the box.
Would have called him for cross-check and would have called the other way for holding. So Call and number perhaps correct, but maybe not syncing up. As up and out is Ryder Haynes. Sure-handed Owen Lee trailing will give to Suter. 30 seconds already gone in this, the second power play of the game for Oakville, but their first of this second period. 10 left on Whitby's shot clock. Here for Suter. Had an opening, goes across to Lamoureux off the head of his stick, up out of play.
Right idea to go back door for Lamoureux, just a little too high as Suter tried to make sure that no Buzz player could pick it off, but off of Lamoureux's stick and into the netting. Buzz get it back.
Morgan outside, Boone doesn't shoot. Switching places there with McCafferty, who will go to the crease. Morgan with the ball, shoots through Wilson, who couldn't get to his right side in time.
Once Morgan gets the ball, watch what the Buzz power play unit does. Here comes the double pick. It's Woods that comes up, which allows Morgan to drop down a little bit and just picks that top corner past Wilson. Oakville starting to pull away a little bit here. That's a power play marker here for the Buzz. Now 1 for 2 on it.
Their fourth goal off just 10 shots showing here in-house on Wilson here in the period. Whitby sitting on 1. And Oakville, their fans, Troy Cordingley, and anyone else who supports them would like 1 or 2 more. If you can get 1 more before the break, this may be one of their best periods of the entire playoffs for the Oakville Buzz. Mason, hard across for Suter, getting there to match it. And a good job for a bigger goaltender come to his right in Constantopoulos. Not out of the woods yet, though, as that resets the shot clock. Lamoureux around Foulon, and all 3 officials put their hands up to signal the hold. It's usually an indication you've done something incorrect if all 3 have the same call.
Typically, Foulon going to the box. So watch Lamoureux going in underneath, and Foulon gets his arms free, wrapped around the head and helmet area. Going to be Whitby's 3rd power play of the game. All 3 of them have come in this period. But remember, on their last one, they gave up a shorthanded marker in transition. So with under a minute left in the period, can they score here on the man up?
Here's Suter. Faked one way, comes back the other. Constantopoulos was ready for the crease shot that didn't happen. Now Lamoureux up top, Weatherup. Back across, Suter. Turns and fires and scores.
So Whitby kind of now even after giving up a shorthanded goal and scoring on a power play. Going to be feeling a little bit better about themselves as Suter takes that pass from Lamoureux, gets his hands free and shoots right at Constantopoulos' right foot. And that is now their 5th goal here in this contest. Remember, they took a timeout in the first period, so unlikely they'll take one here in the second, but can Aiden Urbach solve Beckert Lippert?
It'll be Liam Lizzer that grabs it out, and everybody in the building signals timeout for Oakville. Largy Max Weatherup assisting on that goal. Just 2 points tonight, both assists for Max Weatherup. Part of why the offense hasn't been there for Whitby.
Yeah, a little bit. Constantopoulos has had Weatherup's number so far in this game and a half of this series. So,
well, didn't last night with 9 points, 2 goals, 7 assists.
Well, fair
for Weatherup. So part of the difference offensively, but I mean, you can see it, you can almost feel it, the energy change from last night. And you know, Troy Cordingley talked to us about it before the game started. We asked, you know, can you flip the switch? How do you flip the switch in this short amount of time? And he said, it's almost better. You just wash it and you come back, and credit Oakville have done that here through nearly 2 periods, but goal here will look even better with a 4-goal lead. 29.4 seconds left, and it will be a 6-attacker set coming in on Cooper Wilson.
Going to be Steele, Woods, Morgan, McCafferty, Boone, and Booth.
Yeah, the big guns, as you would expect for Oakville.
And they can hold for last shot, as you said, Matt. 29 seconds left in the period.
Shot clock non-factor. McCafferty from the outside lets it fly. Rebound kicked into the corner. Booth picks it up and will shovel it to Boone. Not sure if they wanted that early shot or not, but may get a second crack here. Booth for Morgan just off the top axis. Takedown in through the middle. Ball goes up out of play. Played here. Whitby's calling too many. There's 6 out there, and there's no goalie.
Question is, though, did the play start with 7 runners on the floor?
Okay.
And I think that's what Kyle Coulter saw and threw his arm up for, so we'll see what they are discussing.
Definitely when Whitby were yelling about it, there were only 6. Looking to see if there's a shot by the bench. And Mark Smith going to run past everybody and gets the locker room key out of the timekeeper's box. I think Phil Weatherup waiting for an explanation, but one was not given to Troy Cordingley, so I don't think there's a penalty coming.
No, and
Olin Lee arguing that fact as well.
You can see the officials speaking with the Whitby coaching staff, and they're not too pleased about it. But the second period comes to an end with Oakville getting last shot and Wilson making a couple of good saves as the Buzz find themselves up by 3-8-5, and a much better period from the Buzz in that one. The first period was solid for them, but they really stepped up the execution level and the physicality in that second, and able to get the transition game going a little bit. Scored on that shorthanded goal in transition. Power play also working well for them, so definitely their depth pieces are coming to play, and they have the lead right now after 2 periods.
30 shots apiece, 4 goals off 11 for Oakville in that period, and 2 off 15 for Whitby gives us an 8-5 score after 2 in this Ontario Junior Lacrosse League semifinal. Whitby leading 1-0. Will they take it 2-0, or will we be all even headed into Sunday? Stick around and find out. You're watching the OJLL semifinals from here in Oakville. You see the Oakville Buzz coming back onto the floor here at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center, getting set for the third period. See if they can hold on to the lead that they've held on to throughout the game. Another big period here in the second, but we start with Whitby.
Cam Monders able to get the scoring going just 53 seconds into it, as you can see him turn, spin, and fire. But then a 4-goal run from the Buzz. And it starts here with Charlie Boone. While killing a penalty, he goes transition, able to get that pass and score. And then right here from Caleb Cripps. Just look at this outside rocket that just beats Cooper Wilson from distance. And then Braden Pitt. There was a man in front of the crease. Cooper Wilson comes to play that one out, but goes off his stick and into the stick of Pitt, and he scores. And then right here, Finn Morgan on the power play. Watch Riley Woods. He's going to come up. Morgan switches with him, and then he beats Wilson. But then the final goal of the period came from Matt Suter, able to get his hands free on the power play to pull the Warriors to within 3. And that's where we stand right now, as before the period gets underway, John Vandergiesen and Will Petsching talking before the third period gets underway.
Yeah, that conversation, I think, from the end of the second period is Whitby thought there should have been a too many men call. There was not, and we remain 8-5. 30-30 shots here. Look out, Francis Renner, as Haynes had him in the crosshairs. And we start the period 5-on-5. Matthew Carrick, Lucas Arger, the JVI Sports Network, here in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League semifinals. St. Catharines, Orangeville off today. 7 o'clock start time right here tomorrow. Finn Morgan spinning around. Number of pirouettes before the shot in. That'll be game 3 at Canada Games Park. Look out, Bagnall rushing in for this loose ball. Going to win it. Trying to run away from Lamoureux in transition and scores. Diving. Oh, they're going to call him on an illegal crease dive. Dove straight at the goaltender, I believe. And now back the other way. Here's Lamoureux out of the corner. Pardon me, Monders to Lamoureux all by himself. And Constantopoulos was waiting for a shot, could never get reset. And it's a quick one here for Whitby and Lamoureux.
So we saw the sequence back down at the other side with the Buzz crease violation, and then here's Lamoureux. Defense kind of screening him a little bit, of a combination of both Crossley and Pitt. But let's see what happens here, as here comes Foulon. He goes in, and his feet were on the white before he was able to get the shot off. And then back the other way, Whitby capitalizes. That's a momentum swinger right there. A no goal one end, and a good goal the other. And now a
back
turnover here by Oakville, forced by Whitby. And we've only played 65 seconds into this third period.
Strap in, folks. Call your friends and your neighbors as the stick gets ripped right out of the hands of Graydon Foulon. He was the one that went back over, and Max Weatherup is disagreeing here with Kyle Coulter. Holding the stick will be the call. The third power play of the game for Oakville. They were 1 for 1 in the second period, with Finn Morgan scoring the lone power play goal. 8-6. This has been a fantastic display of Junior A playoff lacrosse here tonight. Still 18 and a half left to go. Outside Steele steps into a shot and scores. There's the Jamison Steele we've come to know and expect here in Oakville over the last number of seasons.
No doubt about that. What does Steele do best? Outside shots, and he puts a little finesse on this one, Matt, as what does he do? Over the top, bounce shot, able to beat Wilson. That's now the second power play goal, 2 for 3 for the Buzz on the power play here tonight. It's going to be Hunick going to take this draw here and able to cause the turnover for the moment. Ball loose down there on the turf. Who gets it?
Looks like it's going to be Matthew Kirchmeier coming out and scampering it away and shoveling it over top of the defender into the stick of McNeil. He'll quickly give it to Riley Woods. Cripps going to take an offensive shift here and go straight to the crease. Waved off before he let it go. But a good find from Charlie Boone. And Cripps came right off the bench to the crease.
That's 2 no goals waved off for Oakville in this period.
Lamoureux trying to make it 2 for 2. Back for Whitby. Turns into a bank pass to Suter. Mason back over that direction. Weather up a little rub seal. He's wide open for a shot and a moving screen. Going to take one off the board here. They're going to call it a penalty. And if it's a penalty, this should be a goal. But the whistle went before the shot. Officials are talking about it. Oakville fans saying no goal. Whitby saying yes goal and penalty. Thought it was going to be whistle for an illegal screen.
When I saw Kyle Coulter put his hands up, I thought it was for a Whitby penalty.
Well, now, so if it is coming to Oakville on the penalty, the question here from Phil Weatherup is why did the goal not count? Because whistle shouldn't go until the
offending team gets possession.
So it was called in the middle there, and that's clearly Oakville into the back of the Whitby player, Lamoureux, sorry.
So now you can see John Vandergeesen, crew chief, Kyle Coulter, assistant referee, speaking with Phil Weatherup, and they're getting the explanation. Looks to be that the Whitby bench isn't too pleased with it.
Whoa.
Now they'll go over and give the same explanation to Troy Cordingley.
I think Cordingley will be okay with it because, again, a goal comes off the board that probably shouldn't. Here against Whitby, we've had 3 come off the board here in the opening 2:24 of this third period.
Did not have that on my bingo card tonight.
No way.
So it's a power play here for the Warriors. 4th of the game. 1 for 3 up to this point.
Suter with a quick shot as it's Weatherup, and Suter playing catch. Weatherup up top. You can see Dryden and Liza don't want number 10 to shoot. Here's Suter, back to Weatherup. The screen nearly opened the shot for him, and then he does take it, and it's in. And this one's going to stand for Max Weatherup.
First goal of the night, 3rd goal of the series for number 10, and you talked about it. Liza and Dryden didn't want 10 to shoot, but where there's a will, there's a way. Fakes like he's going to pass, steps back, and unloads right through the legs of Konstantopoulos. And that's a power play marker for the Warriors. Their 2nd of the game.
Back-to-back power play goals between these two teams as Steele bounced one in 17 seconds in to what was Oakville's 3rd power play. They're 2 for 3. 2 for 4 are the Warriors. Finn Morgan outside, pulled it down, tried to shoot over the top, missed the net. Picked up there and out straight down Main Street. Oakville going to be called too many men as Evan Barrett comes in transition and scores. Warriors are rolling and are within 1.
We talked about momentum swings. Who is going to have it? Right now it's Whitby early in this period. Here's Justin Hewitt able to send the outlet pass over to Barrett. Mark Smith has his hand up for an illegal substitution penalty. Buzz went early off the bench, but Barrett says, I don't need it. I will go underhand far side. Where? Konstantopoulos' right foot. He beats him. Whitby are within 1 now. So we have 16 and a half minutes remaining. But here's the question. Whitby have the momentum now. Will they have it in 14 minutes from now in the late stages of this game? That's what it all is going to come down to. But they are within 1, and Urbach and Lippert are back at the faceoff dot.
Lippert rolls it through. Big hit there on Foulon. Look out, he's going to come back in the pile looking for revenge. Got a piece of Urbach. 2-on-1 here for the Buzz. Charlie Boone looking for the corner. Hit it off the crossbar. Foulon remains on the floor after that hit. Will pass the ball off now and head off. Jamison Steele directing traffic. Wanted Woods to come out of the pile. Still stuck on a pair of goals for the rookie. McCafferty into Boone. Had his eyes set for the crease. Twist shot. McCafferty backside of the crease. Picks up his own rebound. Trying to run away from Owen Lee. Easier said than done. As now Lee takes over on Steele. Woods almost threw the pick on his own man. Now Peyton Booth with it. Can't get it through the outstretched stick of Liam Hackett. Screen coming, and it's McCafferty. Hackett crashed into Booth, causing the ball to pop back over. And now it's Weatherup that will stop it just inside the half.
Nice play by Hackett there. Caused the over and back, and then leaves it here for the offense.
Monders to Lamoureux. Lamoureux shoots over top. That one disappears. Brought down by Lamoureux. He'll spin off coverage. Lost his stick and the ball. Kicks it back to the corner. Looking for help. Nobody there. Rolls it up the wall. Mason. Nice recovery from Lamoureux. Knocked down as he tried to pick up his stick. Mason to Suter to Weatherup off the bench, then off the post. How many is that tonight on both sides? It'll be reset as it comes all the way down the floor. Big battle in on the crease here between Monders and Bagnall. Ball up here through Mason. Weatherup. Far side, Weatherup coming to set a screen, went right through his man who was kind of off balance. Mason does the same thing up top to Pitt, who knocks the stick out of his hands on the way by and gave a little bump to Weatherup. Neither bench really in favor of the officials right now, as the intensity's ratcheted up a few notches since Whitby's got back within one on the run. Sidearm shot, Steele hit off the stanchion. 10 left for Boone to shoot. Does so around his defender. Steele trying to take care of his man, and Tubble will pick it up.
Both teams are feeling the pressure being turned up a little bit here, as we've seen some moving picks, a lot more whacks and chops coming in, some heavy cross checks. So,
and now outside from Suter perhaps. Weatherup brings it down. Big collision involving Mason in front of him on the run. Then coming through, cross-check. Look out, Mason wants to have a word. Official, I think, was just signaling interference. There was no hand up. And now Kirchmeier grabs a handful of face mask, which officials elect to let go. Lots of whistles. And it will indeed just be an interference call here out of the corner. Kirchmeier and Suter cage to cage. Luzza still playing on Mason in the middle. Messina all by himself outside calling for the ball. Suter can't get it to him. Weatherup now will. In down low Mason. Blake Mason, they're going to ISO with Lippert. All the way up top. Suter shoots. And that one off the dasher and into the rafters.
What a heavy shot from Suter on that one, but hit the boards and popped up right into the ceiling, and can start to feel that both teams' defenses are stepping up the intensity and the pressure, but Whitby needs one more to tie this game up, as they've been playing from behind majority of the night.
Morgan to the half wall, Booth. Little toe drag, Riley Woods shoots through traffic. Wilson sees it, and it's picked out of the crease. Pardon me, Justin Hewitt crossing center. See what battles are contested this time down the floor. That was one of the more spicy defensive battles we've seen here this evening. Lamoureux high stepping. All the way outside for Suter. Monders set the screen that got past Constantopoulos off the post again. Picked up, though, by Monders for the fresh 30 seconds. Back across. Lamoureux into the boards. Cade Cordonley says it was clean. Lamoureux gets up and comes back to the ball. Meanwhile, down in the corner, Bagnall has found Mason once again. Lamoureux in the middle, pushed out by Cordonley. Up top, Monders has the ball, shoots, bouncer off Constantopoulos, fresh 30 seconds. Monders gonna try again. Lamoureux, bounces it past Constantopoulos. Suter to Mason. Mason back across, Suter's got it, looking for the right opportunity. Monders backs into Bagnall. Lamoureux in the middle, and Suter takes it to the crease, and Constantopoulos stands his ground amongst the chaos in front of him.
Good defensive stand from the Buzz as they had to play through 2 or 3 possessions right there for the Warriors, but able to get their defense off the floor.
Cripps circling the crease as it's back in the stick of steel. Had thoughts of going back to Morgan after the screen. Boone shoots off a defender. Did he run through the crease? Shot clock reset inadvertently. And it'll be a 30-second violation against Oakville.
So Whitby's defense now starting to turn up the pressure a little bit. Oakville's is doing the same thing they were doing a couple minutes ago, and now Whitby was.
Weatherup shot off the end board's going to bounce up and over top of the stick of Liam Hackett as well. He'll stay on. Backpedaling away from the ball, McNeil was about to pick up. Peyton Booth says, I got it. McNeil can go to the far side and set screens like this one for Woods. McNeil with the ball back, bounces a shot past Lee. Wilson with the stop. In comes Barrett, already with a goal in transition. 30 seconds away from the halfway mark here of this period that has seen Whitby claw their way back within 1. Mason to Weatherup, corner Suter. Monders outside as well. Weatherup setting a pick with 2 guys. Wide shot off the end boards. Mason stops it from going over and back, giving a Suter outside. Rick Luzza steps up to block it. Pitt then run over from behind. Troy Cordonley wants a call there on that hit. Don't blame him, to be honest. Here's Cripps trying to split a double team. Eventually locked up with Lee, taken down. Ball turned over. Toval will cross center. Did so along with Proctor. Bagnall takes over the defensive assignment. Ball comes back through Toval and into the stick of Lamoureux. Mason in front to set the screen. Lamoureux. Cross floor. Weatherup pulls it down. Draws to the crease. Is he good? Yes, he is. Max Weatherup with a big scream into the face of Bagnall afterwards. Face guards come unclipped. Everything's come unhinged as we're tied up here in Oakville.
Great use of words right there, Matt, as this kind of is becoming unhinged, but Weatherup was a difference maker in 2 of the 4 wins that Whitby had in the Brampton series. So he saves his best for last as 9.5 to play, and he has 2 goals here in the 3rd period. And he had a great crease dive on that one. Monders picking up the assist.
3 straight going back to the end of that 2nd period. Brand new ball game with 9.5 to play. Finn Morgan outside. Charlie Boone now. Boone from the outside to the crease. Shovels it back to Booth, who scores. Well being hit. First one for Peyton Booth here in the series.
Good twister goal right here. I'm not even sure how Booth saw this one the entire way. So he's playing here with Boone. Go, Becker. Able to pick his man, still has a stick up. And Jack Moores comes in a little too late as he throws that twister one top corner. Get in there, Buzz. So the lead was short-lived. Or sorry, the tie was short-lived for Whitby, as the Buzz have gotten it back now.
Liam Lizza off the draw. Becker Lipper lost the face-off twig, had to go recover it. Now Boone Booth from Boone and Steele. How many times over the years have those three connected on goal? Steele trying to make it one more as he took it to the cage. Morgan from the outside rang it off the foot of Aiden Urbach, who immediately fell down to a knee, and he's trying to one-hop it over to the bench. Tap on the bucket there from Jordy Jones-Smith. And Owen Tuvell to the crease. And now hopping away from the scene is Kirchmeyer.
Don't mind that play from Tuvell. Saw lane and he tried to go airborne a little bit, beat Konstantopoulos low, but unsuccessful. But I don't mind that play. That's a good look from one of your defenders if they have it.
Here's McNeil down to the crease. Kind of shoved in, so we'll see if there's any response here from the two defenders standing by. Trying to decide who's going to get possession here. Think it was a crease call. And they will give it Whitby's way. 8.5 left to go. Remember when we said Max Weatherup only had 2 points? Look down after that last Whitby goal, up to 5 with 2 and 3. Didn't take long. Lamoureux to Monders. Back to Lamoureux through the defender. Konstantopoulos reaching behind him. Ball got back there, but somehow stayed out. Here's Liza for Peyton Booth.
That was a good shot by Lamoureux, but Konstantopoulos gets just enough of it to keep it out.
Steele. Outside Morgan. Screen set by Woods. Steele to Boone. Outside. Shot Woods off the post. Finn Morgan back near center. Keeps it on side. Resets the clock with Booth, who throws up the stop sign. Outside Steele. This and that way. Woods into the back of his man. Knocked him down. No call. Out far side. Morgan shot. Just missed the two-man battle in behind the net. Boone recovers after a hit into the boards. 6 to shoot. Number 6, Will. And it's saved by Wilson.
You can feel the pressure heating up in this building over on track blue as we have 7 minutes to go here, and the intensity is intense.
Here's Suter looking for Weatherup. Braden Foulon chases him out of the corner. Spins back and scores! What a goal from Max Weatherup! Wants to hear it from the crowd behind the net, but I don't think he's going to get anything for his hat trick here in this building.
How about number 10 showing up here tonight? Only 2 goals in the 12-5 victory 24 hours ago. Swim move and far side. Konstantopoulos drops his shoulder a little bit, and that's enough for number 10 to pocket that one.
Up to 6 points tonight. Give him 15 in 2 games in 24 hours. Finn Morgan controlling the draw. Aiden Urbach has been really good at the dot for Whitby this season, but Becker Lippert getting the better of him at least here in this third period, who has also been money for this Oakville team. Steele on to the crease. Well, thought he was passing to the crease. Ended up being a shot off the shoulder. Now Cripps works his way free.
Good play from number 45 there. Good check on Ryder Haynes.
Outside Steele. Boone. Looking back up top, Steele. Far side, Woods into the stick of Cripps. Pulls it back out of the corner. Less than 10 to shoot. It'll be Boone. Stuffed it right into Haynes and took a couple extra chops. Here's Urbach. Fresh off taking that shot off the foot. Lex not to push transition, flipping it over his head back to Hewitt.
Strong defensive stand from Whitby, ends with a blocked shot. That's something they do really well, especially in the late stages, so expect more block shots coming from the men in black.
Lamoureux, a quick reset. Quickly through to Suter. Will run his way around the crease. Mason, outside Monders. Monders has Weatherup headed through the middle. Nice check there from Bagnall on the slide. Up top, Lamoureux. He can't shoot either. 3 offensive players outside the restraining line with 6 on the clock. Ended up coming through for Lamoureux. Put it off the left foot of Constantopoulos. Oakville need to get out of their own end. Morgan close to center. Tucker in his face. He did clear the line in the allotted 8 seconds. Under 5 to play in this 10-10 tie. Game number 2 of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League semifinals. Boone trying to break the deadlock. It's off the foot of Wilson and saved at the line by Tubble.
Great awareness from Tubble to look behind him and throw his stick on top of that one. That ball could have rolled over the line, but Tubble able to keep it out, and now Weatherup lets one fly.
Tubble, the lone trade deadline acquisition for Joel Watson, the guy who's normally really busy. Went to a Minto Cup last year, played on the other side of this Whitby team. Faced them in the OJ finals. Ball will roll back into the crease of Constantopoulos. Liza picks up and will run it over center. 4 minutes left to go. Shots 44-41 have now crept in the lead for Whitby. Here's McCafferty to Boone. Outside Steele working there with Morgan on the left side. Woods in the middle, over the shoulder flip pass, looking to spring Steele. Now coming out and out are, Whitby bounce shot over Constantopoulos. That was Hackett.
Had the right idea. He was thinking of giving it far side over to, I believe that was Weatherup that was with him, but Hackett's shot goes up and out of play.
Grips to Woods, outside Morgan. Pair of 51s doing battle again, and right now Owen Lee winning that battle, knocks Morgan down, picks up the loose ball. Peyton Booth is back to get in between Lee and Moores. Bounce shot is in! Owen Lee, the captain of this Whitby team, in transition. Known for his defense, known right now for giving Whitby their first lead of the game.
Let's show you that entire play right here. Lee causes the turnover, takes a heavy whack right there from McNeil. He's got Ryder Haynes in transition, but Lee scores the same way Evan Barrett did. Low to low, beats Constantopoulos low, rolls just over the line, and you can see that all of his teammates are thrilled with him, as many of them go and celebrate their captain right there. And he has given his team the lead. And Whitby may get the ball back, who knows, as this loose ball is right here on the turf right near the near boards.
The literal definition of do it all for Owen Lee. Near side, Hewitt has another hotly contested face-off. This one going the way of Whitby, who lead 11-10. Lead for the first time tonight. Now with less than 3 to go here in period number 3. Suter running away from Bagnall. Mason wanted the pass back outside the restraining line. Couldn't even get it there. Messina, little quick stick on the crease. That'll be recovered by Lamoureux.
Haven't seen much of 55 in this period, but the opportunities that he gets causes a reset right here. Can Whitby score?
Mason outside. Weatherup fights for a check. Gets the screen from Suter, or rolls to the crease. Off Constantopoulos. Foulon by himself going into the corner. Cordingly in to help out, will come away with the ball. Playing back to Bagnall. Foulon at center.
Great
2-minute warning.
Great loose ball from Cordingly right there. He was essentially 1-on-3 right there and somehow comes away with the ball in a swarm of black jerseys.
Towards the corner, Charlie Boone. 10 to shoot. We'll keep it in the corner here as they cycle through with McCafferty. Back up top to Steele, in and out of his stick. Hewitt picks up, Hackett. Looked like he was going to take off with Moores and Tubble, but they'll slow it down into the sure hands of the offense led by Max Weatherup.
Both teams still have their timeouts, under 90 seconds to play. Now plays down to Monders.
He'll patrol the outside, broken stick. Down there through the middle, it's Weatherup who's got to head off now. Lamoureux got enough to get the reset, need to recover this loose ball to keep it 30 on their side, and they can't do it as Cordingly grabs it. It's a call from the bench. Cade with the loose ball. Troy with the timeout. And chalkboard comes out here with 1:07 left to go.
What a turn of events here in this second and third periods. It was a one-goal game for Oakville at the end of the first, and then they seemed to catch lightning in the second, but it's been all Whitby here in the third. As we'll show you what has transpired here. Here's Weatherup going to work against Foulon. Swim move. That was to tie the game. And then here is the go-ahead goal from Owen Lee. Causes the turnover. Goes the length of the floor himself. And as soon as that one went over the line, he was fired up about it. Doesn't score many goals, but when he does, he knows that they are big ones. Question is, can he have another big defensive play on this stand as Konstantopoulos is on the bench? So we enter the final minute here, Matt, from the Toronto Rock Athletics Center.
Woods, McCafferty to steal, quickly back Boone's way, shot it through the legs of the defender. No one to the bench. Now they do get two guys out there. Konstantopoulos trying to race back. Arm is up from the official, saying there's too many men. Now he pulls it back down. So no penalty coming. Moores is going to get stuffed trying to cross the restraining line. Oakville picks up. It's Steele who ran his way back on defense. Trying to get it back. Konstantopoulos to the bench yet again.
What a turn of events. Whitby thought they're getting a penalty shot. Now Oakville gets another opportunity.
McCafferty to Boone. Pass through the middle, hit off of shoulder. Down into the corner, picked up by Moores. And timeout called. Phil Weatherup and Whitby with 19.4 left to go. Fans that have made the trip starting the Let's Go Whitby chant underneath us as they came out of the timeout. Both sides had started to kind of ramp up the energy. If you're enjoying this, how about game 3 tomorrow between St. Catharines and Orangeville? 6-4 for game number 1, went to overtime. Jamison Bucktooth the winner in 12-11 in game number 2. 7 o'clock start time will be right here on the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League YouTube channel. Be sure you're subscribed. Thank you to everybody who has. We passed 8,000 sometime over the past couple days. And then our crew in Whitby on Sunday night, 8 p.m. Get yourself to Iroquois Park Sports Center and get a early parking space because the qualifiers will be the pre-show to our show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a goalie. Wow. So, and you're right. In the last 2 minutes, that would be a penalty shot on a too many men with the goalie out. So goalie will be out again. Double team on the ball. Luza and Morgan in on Lee. Wilson comes out to throw the screen. Owen Lee going to work it around and get up. Basically, all he had to do was cross center. Up to Lamoureux with the pass. Now he's got a wide open cage to put it in. Did 4 last night with the goaltender. Back-to-back hat tricks. And despite leading most of the way, it looks like Whitby are going to take a 2-0 series lead.
What a great individual effort from Lee here. Wilson sets the pick for him. Oakville unable to get back on defense, and then they get caught up in the switch right here once the pass goes to Lamoureux, and he just fires into the empty net with 7 seconds left. And Urbach comes away with it, and will go back to his net, and that'll be it.
Yeah, Urbach didn't have to do anything with that face-off once he won it, and everybody goes to congratulate Cooper Wilson. Handshakes all around for the coaching staff of Whitby. Hat, no hat, who cares? Phil Weatherup has got his team a 2-0 series lead here in a come-from-behind effort in the third.
What a turn of events. We thought it might be Oakville that would tie the series up here tonight after they had a good second period, but a dominant third from Whitby as they're able to rattle off, count it, 7 goals in that third period to come from behind and steal game 2 on the road and go into a Saturday rest day with a 2-0 series lead.
12 goals off 45 shots. The final there for Whitby. They score 7 in the third period off 15 and 10 off 42, 2 off 12 in the period for Oakville. Whitby leads the series 2-0. Reminder, game 3 of this series goes on Sunday, 8 o'clock start time at Iroquois Park Sports Center following Ontario qualifiers. But before that, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock start time from Canada Games Park in St. Catharines. It is the Athletics and the Orangeville Northmen, game number 3 there. The A's lead that series 2-0 as Whitby does here in this one. For my partner, Lucas Arger, for our producer, Gary Morrison, director, Rachel Wolf, the JVI Sports Network, and the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League, my name is Matthew Carrick saying so long from the track. 12-10 the win for Whitby. We'll talk to you tomorrow.